Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen nabiyyina Muhammadi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to our new week, beginning of the week, Ayyuh al-Walad talk, which is obviously our new time now of 7 p.m. And inshallah, this will be our set time for this week. And we'll change the time again at the end of the week. It's quite a short Ayyuh al-Walad session today. I did say there will be some slightly long ones and slightly short ones. Not sure what we do when we got a slightly short one. Do we take advantage and try to squeeze two in one? I'll make mashwara with the team and get back to you on that one. Or should we stick to our principles and perform one a day? Maybe it might be advantageous to do two when the time suits, so that at least we do cover them in case of illnesses or getting busy or something like that. Anyway, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أيها الولد كم من ليال أحييتها بتكرار العلم ومطالعة الكتب وحرمت على نفسك النوم. So remember, just to remind us all, that Imam Ghazali is addressing his student. However, this student is a scholar in his own right. And by addressing this scholar, he is addressing the scholarly fraternity generally. And he says, Kam min layalin, how many nights ahyaytaha have you kept awake, meaning have you kept alive rather, meaning have you kept awake? Bitakrar al-ilm, by going over your knowledge, by repeating it to yourself, by correcting yourself. Wa mutala'at al-kutub, and by studying and researching books. وَحَرَّمْتَ عَلَى نَفْسِكَ النَّوْمَ, and you made haram upon yourself sleep. So question is asked, rhetorical in nature, but it's a provocative question to say that you have spent many nights studying, so you're better prepared for class the next day. So you're better prepared for the debates which might take place in the masjid or the madrasa the next day. Or so you're better prepared for handling what could come the next day. لا أعلم ما كان الباعث فيه. I don't actually know what the motivation was. What was the person's, what was your purpose in that? Okay, why did you do that? إن كان نيل أرض الدنيا وجذب حطامها وتحصيل مناصبها والمباحة على الأقران والأمثال. If, so he gives him two choices, two options. If it was for the purpose of achieving, gaining the what the world has to offer, the goods of the world, وجذب الحطامها, and also to engage with its sort of glory and excesses, you could say, either as well rather. وتحصيل مناصبها والمباحات, and also so that you could get an edge and be better than your aqran, your associates, wal amthal, and your contemporaries, your peers. فَوَيْلٌ لَكَ ثُمَّ وَيْلٌ لَكَ, then woe be unto you and woe be unto you. Meaning, if the purpose of your studying was so that you get a fancy title, or the purpose of your study is so that when the next time you have an argument, you can say, well, I'm a scholar, so shut up, I win this argument. If your purpose of study was so that you could, sign off certificates for financial institutes and get paid handsomely, if your purpose was to gain either a position or financial reward, if your purpose was to be considered as superior to your peers, that, oh, this scholar is so good, his, how many people come to his lectures, how many people listen to his lectures, how he is respected amongst the scholars, how he's respected amongst the masses. If that was your purpose, then woe be to you. For waylul laka, woe be to you. Thumma waylul laka. وإن كان قصدك فيه إحياء شريعة النبي. If, however, on the other hand, so that's one side. If, however, on the other hand, your intention was, qasd, your niyyah was, your objective was, ihya'a, to bring to life, to revive the Shariat al-Nabi, the Sharia of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, wa tahdhiba akhlaqika, and at the same time to improve your akhlaq, your character, or your behaviors, wa kasra nafsil ammarati bisu, and to break the soul, the nafs al-ammara, the evil soul that inclines you towards wrong. Fatuba laka, then glad tidings be to you. Thumma tuba laka, glad tidings be to you, meaning blessing be to you. So you can see that the objective is the same. The individual is staying up all night in study. He's not sleeping, he's going over his work, he's finding new research, and as a result, this is obviously keeping him awake at night. Imam Ghazali says, find what your underpinning intentions are. Find out what your objectives are for doing this. Why are you doing this for? Is it so you come first in the exam? Is it so that you are, what's your niyyah? What's your intention? Because if it is for any worldly gain, whether you want to be better than your peers, whether you want to be respected by your peers, whether you want some high rank or some financial reward, then woe be to you, because this is going to become a burden for you. Because you're not learning ilm to do amal on. You're learning ilm in order for some worldly gain. And in essence, he curses him. However, on the other side, if you are doing this so that you can revive Islamic practices, bring Islamic practices to the public's attention, try to bring that into day-to-day activities, or to subjugate your nafs, to find out what characteristics are bad in you and to reduce them, and find out what characteristics are good in you and increase them. And if you can't find what characteristics are good in you, to instill good characteristics in you, or to kind of work on your nafs, work on your ego, and remove, as you're learning new wisdoms, to remove those characteristics, or slowly bring your ego under your grip, then for that there's nothing but khair, blessings for you. So even though the task is the same, the objective, the niyyah is different. And then he quotes a couplet, thankfully in Arabic and not in Persian. He says, "Sahrul uyuni li ghayri wajhika da'i'un, wa buka'uhunna li ghayri faqdika batilun." So, sahrul uyun li ghayri wajhika da'i'un. The sleepless of the eyes, li ghayri wajhika, for other than you, is in waste. If I'm not staying up at night for your purpose, don't look at the task, but for your purpose, then it's pointless. وَبُكَاؤُهُنَّ لِغَيْرِ فَقْدِكَ بَاطِلٌ. And for their crying, meaning the eyes crying, but not for your absence or in losing you, that is void, batil. Meaning I should only cry for your sake. So that I will just quickly summarize. It's a quite short counsel today. Tomorrow it's a little bit longer, but then we get to another shorter one. So I'm going to speak to my colleagues, and I think what I might do is when we have the shorter one is try to bring two together in there, inshallah, for fear of missing some in the future. But in short, let's look at our activities, what we do when we do religious work. Okay, what is our intention behind it? What is our goal and purpose behind it? If it is for the pleasure of Allah, then that's good for us and we should strive. Now, whether that pleasure of Allah means we're bringing the Sharia to the people, we're instilling the virtues of the Sharia in society, we're using it to benefit ourselves, to improve our character, to work on our ego, then there's khair in that, alhamdulillah, no problem at all. But if the task is the same, but your purposes are very different, to turn heads, to win the admiration of people, to be respected in society, if you're doing it for those reasons, then one's niyyah is wrong and there is no success in that at all. So may Allah give tawfiq that we do both study and teach for the correct reasons. Ameen. And that brings us to the end of today's Ayyuh al-Walad. Tomorrow's Ayyuh al-Walad, inshallah, slightly longer, so we will stick to one possibly, but the day after I may include two, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.